Hey, what is going on, guys? Weevil YouTube here, back with another video. First of all, I would like to wish Happy Halloween to everybody in all corners of the world. I'm sure everybody in some way, shape or form celebrates Halloween. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about whether Abyss Rising, the new set in the TCG, is worth investing in. And I most certainly think that it is. Why? Because like so many other sets in the past, such as Duelist Revolution, we have money cards. A lot of sets don't have money cards. I mean, some sets, the highest value card in the set is $40. For example, Insector Hornet, back when he was really, really popular. But in this set, I think that Moon and Glacia, the Elemental Lord, as Mega Capital G iterated in his video, is going to be between $80 and $100, at least to start. I mean, if someone who tops a YCS, like if Jeff Jones decides to go rogue like he did before, with the whole Grand Soil thing, and tops a YCS with it, then we're all just going to be like, oh my god. But I mean, you can see from the card itself, initially, just by reading the card, that it's really, really good. And it's going to be really, really, successful. In any case, there are other cards besides him. But the other reason, yeah, I mean, the main reason is basically because there's going to be a lot of cards that are worth $15 or more. And based on their rarity, are kind of worth your investment, basically. So the first card we have is Mermail Abyss Linda. Of course, she allows you to special summon a Mermail from the deck when she is destroyed. Very simple effect, but very, very effective. I fully expect anyone who's building the Mermail deck to be running this card at 3. And the thing is, even if you're not building these decks, if you're not building Mermails, if you're not building Atlanteans or anything close to that, I would still invest in the set. Because the chances of you getting something that is like decent trade bait is extremely, high. And you're more than likely going to be able to trade this stuff off for, half decent stuff. Especially if you get her in like an ulti or something, because she just looks so good. And I would be very surprised if she ended up being like a lot cheaper than I thought. I'd say about $15 to begin. Now, Mermail Abyss Megalo, of course he's secret rare. And when a card is secret rare in Konami's eyes, they think that it's like worth way, way, way more than it ought to be. But this guy is pretty much worth it, because if you discard an Atlantean Dragoons and any other water monster, you get all your stuff back, because you get a search. And you get to search for the Abyss Speller Trap as well. So, I mean, you're going to get your stuff back. It's not like your mind is thinking when you summon this guy. And everyone's going to want to run him at 3 if they're running any kind of like heavy Mermail Atlantean type thing, which a lot of people on Dueling Network are doing. So the Prophecy archetype and the Madolche archetype are also being represented. I don't know too much about the new Prophecy cards, but if someone can be creative and kind of come up with a build that is somewhat playable, then I'll start paying attention to them. But until then, not really. I'm not going to pay attention to the commons. This video is purely kind of an economic video to do with prices. So we have Moon and Glacia, the Elemental Lord, of course, going to be the most expensive in the card in the set by far, I would say, between $80 and $100, as I've said. Why? Because his effect is just so ridiculous. In any water-based deck, including frogs and other stuff like that, he's extremely easy to get onto the field. And his effect is just devastating. Your opponent discards 2 random cards. Unfortunately, you can only use the effect of Moon and Glacia once per turn, which means that if you return him to your hand and attempt to special summon him again, with the effect of Birdman, for example, then pretty much, you're going to be able to special summon him, of course, but you just won't be able to use this effect. So you're never going to be able to take 4 cards out of your opponent's hand. That's just not going to happen. Shark Jake Vice, because he has the Ghost Rare kind of tag attached to him, it automatically means that he's going to be a little bit more expensive. The Ghost Rare for Heroic Champion Excalibur, for example, was about $10. Although Heroic Champion Excalibur had just been released in a tin, so it obviously pushed his price in every single rarity down. Next we have number 9, Dyson Sphere. Now, ordinarily in the OCG in particular, I would say that this guy is pretty useless. It's a lot. It's a lot more difficult in the OCG to get this guy out onto the field. However, thanks to Mermail Abyss Mander, the TCG exclusive, we're able to get him out much more easily. If you get 2 Mermail Abyss Megalos on the field, and one of the materials you discarded was Abyss Mander, you basically just banish him from your graveyard, and you can get Dyson Sphere onto the field. I've done it first turn on Dueling Network many times. It's pretty crazy. And then he's pretty much unkillable in battle. For those of you who aren't aware of his effect, it goes as follows. once per battle step. And first to emphasize that the battle step means that every single monster that attacks on your opponent's side of the field has a battle step. So it's not once per battle phase, it's once per battle step. During your opponent's turn, if this card with XYZ material is attacked, negate the attack. When this card is targeted for an attack while it has no XYZ materials, you can target 2 monsters in your graveyard and attach those targets to this card as XYZ materials. During your main phase 1, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card. This card can attack your opponent directly this turn if your opponent controls a monster whose attack is higher than this card. So basically, he's a trolly son of a gun. Going to be really, really annoying. Also, he's a machine, so that if you happen to be running a machine type deck and you're able to increase your, Machina Fortress, for example, to level 9, you can like put him on, activate limit or removal and attack for game or something. I don't know. Something crazy like that. Mermail Abyss Gaius. I expect him to be pretty popular simply because of the fact that he's part of the Mermail archetype, even though I don't think the card itself is all that useful. If we have the option to go into Dyson Sphere, we're more than likely going to choose that over going into Mermail Abyss Gaius. Nevertheless, its effect is while this face card is XYZ material, level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack. That's okay. Once per turn, during either player's turn, which means it's a multi-trigger quick effect, the best type of effect in my opinion. You can attach 1 XYZ material from this card and negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls that have less attack than this card until the end of the turn. So, he reminds me of the Firestar guy who negates the effects of all their face-up monsters on the field your opponent controls. So, effects that could hurt him. I mean, imagine negating. See, the thing is, say he activates his effect to negate the effect of like a wind-up rabbit. The rabbit could just kind of chain to that. However, if the wind-up rabbit attempts to activate its effect and then Abyss Gaius responds, it kind of forces your opponent to think on their feet, kind of. They can't just activate any effect because Abyss Gaius will just negate it. And the monsters are more than likely going to have less attack than this card. So, I mean, he's not too bad. And his price would probably be around $20. I'm just going to place it at right now. And if it ends up higher, sue me. I mean, I can't be right all the time. Empress of Prophecy, I don't really expect to be, because it's 2 level 5 monsters for starters, spellcasters. I'm not even going to read the effect, actually. I don't expect it to be that pricey at all. If you happen to pull one, though, you could probably trade it for something decent. The Grand Spellbook Tower, because it's secret rare, again, its price is going to be pushed up. Although I never saw anyone running this card at more than 1 copy in Spellbook decks. But it's certainly worth a look anyway, and if you do manage to pull one, as I said, hold on to it. See what you can trade it for. Abyss Sphere, the perfect combo with Abyss Linda, and I say perfect because as long as you've set it, and your opponent hasn't MST'd it in the end phase, there's nothing they can do. You're going to get an Abyss Megalon on the field, unless they use Solemn Warning or something like that. So for those of you who don't know the combo, it's basically they MST your face down Abyss Sphere, you chain it, you special summon Abyss Linda, Abyss Sphere dies, therefore Abyss Linda dies, and then you get to special summon either an Abyss Pike, an Abyss Megalo, an Abyss Mander if you want some defense, or whatever. It's just a really, really good combo, and it's pretty much airtight, foolproof. It can't be screwed up. The idea, the thing, the condition that you cannot activate any spell cards while Abyss Sphere is on the field, I mean, that's never going to hinder its performance by any means. So I fully expect Abyss Sphere to be one of the pricey cards as well, maybe $25 or something like that, because it's just simple. Special summon a Mermail from the deck. I mean, how much more simple can you get? Short print for collectors, the Modest Sentry. Nothing like the Forceful Sentry, I might add. Reveal your hand, choose 1 card from it, and shuffle it into the deck. I mean, like, why would you do that? It's just crazy. Giant Soldier of Steel could be interesting in terms of price, so I would definitely look out for him. He's just an anti-burn card, basically. I went through his effect the other day. But 2 level 3 rock type monsters. I mean, it's kind of screaming. You need 2 Giant Soldier of Stones to summon this card. But Legendary Jujutsu Master is also rock and level 3. So I mean, if you're building some kind of trolley stall deck type thing, anti-burn. But the thing is, you're very rarely going to come up against a burn deck, and when you do, you're more than likely not going to be running a rock deck that has level 3 monsters. Until burn starts dominating the format again, Giant Soldier of Steel, other than looking pretty, in terms of its rarity, I don't expect to be all that popular. Spellbook Library of the Heliosphere. Again, only because it's secret rare, its price is going to be pushed up slightly, but other than that, I don't expect it to be all that expensive, because, in my opinion, spellbook decks aren't all that great or all that popular for that very reason. Finally, Thunder Seahorse I expect to be quite pricey indeed, because a lot of people just love Watt decks and any of the decks that run the Pahunder, Manhunder kind of combination cards and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's a plus. He's like what's like Thunder Dragon that you could just ditch him and search for 2 more, kind of. Except he's not quite as good as that, but he's amazing. I mean, the archetype Watts or anything based on Thunder or Light basically needed that card to be good. Finally, we have Bahamut Shark. I'm really pleased that we've finally gotten this guy. 2 level 4 water monsters. For those of you who don't know what he is, he basically allows you to special summon a rank 3 or lower water XYZ from your extra deck by detaching a material. And of course, in Atlantean Mermail type builds, if you happen to detach an Atlantean Dragoons, you get a search and a summon. Because of course you're sending it to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect. So the other thing to note about him is that he's a Sea Serpent, that he has 2600 attack points, which is more than Utopia. Everyone seems to talk about rank 4s in terms of Utopia and Gemini Pearl. But he's really good. I expect his price to be maybe starting at about $25. Although it could be subject to change. I don't expect to see him in a lot of extra decks, because the rank 4s in my extra deck, in my Atlantean Mermail stuff, are filled with good ones like Utopia and Maestro, and hopefully soon the Black Ship of Corn, because he's just amazing. In any case, I'm going to leave the video there. There's no other cards that I expect to be that expensive. Mermail Abyssmander, see, I just have a personal affiliation with that card. I just like the card. But that doesn't mean that I have the right to push the price up in my video. So I'm not going to say that he's going to be all that expensive, but I will say that he's going to be popular. But because he's so easy to get, and because he's only rare, people are just going to buy packs to try and get him. So it's not that much of an issue, really. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you all have a happy Halloween, and dress up as, Shark Drake, or something like that. I don't know. If any of you are dressing up as like Yu-Gi-Oh related things, please let me know. Put it in the comment section below and we can get a good kind of funny discussion going. I unfortunately won't be going out for Halloween because I'm a complete loner. No, I have a photography assignment to do, and I'm going to be in basically all evening. So it is very sad, but nevertheless, I will just make more videos for you guys, I guess. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. As always, I'm Weeva YouTuber, and I am signing out. Peace.